You are looking live at our split studios. This is Fantasy Baseball Now, episode 90 for our show, part of the ball9.com podcast network. Welcome back. Congratulations to the New York Knickerbockers and you, Mr. Nelson. I thought you'd be all nicked up tonight, but you're not on your long-awaited NBA title.
Up all right, but not that way.
On tonight's show, you ever had a player who was one of your favorites on your fantasy team and you realized it's your best interest to trade him because you might be chasing categories? It happened to me. We'll take a look at the importance of separating emotion from the business at hand as you try to win your fantasy baseball league title, along with who's hot, who's not, go get and cut. And a look at the under the radar two-star pitchers for week 14 and what teams have the better hitting matchups next week. Take it away, Nick Fan. You won it.
Before we get into that, and that video was the Spurs players running off the court after Game 5, not shaking hands. Fucking assholes. But before we get into that, follow us on our YouTube channel, on all social media, at ball9.com, as we are brought to you graciously by our friends at Ball9. It's been a week, dude. It's been a week. It's been a full week. Unbelievable Stanley Cup Finals, World Cup kicking off with a phenomenal U.S. men's national team win on Friday night. And I have been in a combination of flowing tears and drinking bourbon since about 11 o'clock on Saturday night, and it's not slowing down. 53 years. I get choked up even saying it. 53 years. And I asked myself this question, and this would, and I'll ask this to the fantasy audience as well. You're in a league for a million years. You finally win a championship. Is that more exciting than you won in the first or second year of your league, and then 20 years later you won? I mean, all wins are good. So for me to experience it 53 years later, oh, hold on to your seatbelt, big man from Massachusetts. One of your players is going to be mentioned tonight. The to see one 53 years later is almost indescribable. As I said to my son, if the Jets, and they're not going to, so I don't have to worry about this. If the Jets were to win a Super Bowl this year, I would literally lay down in the middle of a field and just say, God, I'm good. Like, I'm good now. I'm good. I don't need anything else in my life. I'm completely fine. Greatest sports night of my adult life, without question, was the Knicks winning that championship.
Well, I think
New York is going to be complete havoc on Thursday.
Well, the good news for all of us is the Jets aren't going to win this year, so we're stuck with you.
No, it's not good news for all of us because I'm not happy about that. And when Battlefield Bob or Ironhead Bob or Bobby O'Bobo if he shows up, he won't be happy about it. But like a long time coming is a long time coming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so there is that, but then I thought about, there are fans that are, like huge Knick fans that I follow on the application formerly known as Twitter. Alex B is the one, and they have a great Knicks podcast. Like, it's the first one he's ever seen in his lifetime. He's 45 years old.
Yeah.
Like that's, it's pretty incredible. It's pretty incredible. And as much as my Yankee brethren want to say that the Yankees own New York, I'm telling you what, my whole life, New York's been a basketball city. The greatest players in the NBA came out of New York forever before they all started leaving and going to prep schools and claiming other states as their schools. New York City basketball was that's why it's called the Mecca. That's why Madison Square Garden is the Mecca. New York City basketball was the heart and soul of basketball in this country. Every fifth block, there's a basketball court. There ain't baseball fields in the middle of New York. There's just no open space to have them.
It's the same thing in 2011 when the Bruins won the Cup. I was at a wedding with a lot of my wife's family who are all from Boston. And her uncle looked at me, he goes, look, the party is on because people could tell you what they want, but Boston's a hockey town, first and foremost. It just took them 50 years to win too. So I get it.
Yeah, it's insane. But now I'm in full. I mean, the Stanley Cup was tremendous. And as requisite, we got Rod Brindamore, Rod the Bod, with his shirt off in the post game, which was necessary.
Did you hear what he did? The training thing he set up in the weight room all year?
No.
This is what I love about stories about coaches. He had a 35-pound cinder block that he had the players working out with. They had to kneel down, pick it up, pull it up to the chest, up, down, down to the ground. What they didn't know was they were actually practicing hoisting the cup, which is coincidentally 35 pounds.
That's hysterical.
Yeah. They showed clips of guys doing it in the weight room during the year.
That is unbelievable. That's unbelievable. And there's no story.
I love that stuff about coaches.
For all the sports, and we're digressing from fantasy for a minute, but for all the sports, there are no better stories than hockey stories.
Sure.
There just aren't. They're like when they're in juniors, they're not pampered. Like there's just no. It's a complete grind. It's the hardest trophy to win. It's not even close. That's a friggin' meat grinder to win that trophy. And then them each getting it for a day in the off season is the coolest thing that's ever happened. So it's not like it is still a kid's game, more so that they're all kids' games. They're all grown adults getting paid a shitload to play a kid's game, but they act more like kids than anybody when they win because they do. And now we're for a World Cup. Scotland has taken over Boston. Some of the greatest videos that you're ever going to see. Scotland taking over Fenway Park. Just incredible. Police officers dancing with like Cape Verde and here the other day with Ivory Coast. Like the Philly police cops like that were supposed to be doing crowd control dancing in the middle of the Ivory Coast fans after they won here in Philadelphia. I mean, it's just so far so good. So far, so good. They pulled it off in all these venues, and there's a long way to go. And the U.S. has, to this point, equated itself fairly well. And let me just share one World Cup thing that people are bitching about, and I'm just going to tell you to shut the fuck up. If you're bitching about parking after you paid $1,000 for a ticket, first of all, find a different fucking way to get there. I mean, I can speak for here. People were complaining that parking at Citizens Bank Park was $350 for a car and $500 for an SUV for match one. And the mayor said specifically, we're not raising prices of public transportation because we don't want people to drive.
Yeah.
If you get your car and you drive down there and you're not smart enough to look at regional rail or you're not smart enough to look at the subway system and park a fucking Fern Rock, which is safe, and take the subway down, you're dope. Stop bitching. Stop bitching. Stop bitching about ticket prices you're paying. I mean, like I looked at game 6 for the Knicks because we were out for happy hour on Friday. And my buddy and I, who's a huge Knicks fan, who's going to the parade, and he said, "What's your number for game 6?" And I said, "Well, I actually gave it a lot of thought today, and it's $10,000. That I would have paid $10,000 to go to game 6.
Jesus Christ. Wow.
Like a full year travel budget for one game to say I was there. Now, my head would have been scraping the top of Madison Square Garden. I'd looked before game 5. The lowest price ticket was $12,600. And had they lost, that ticket would have been $20,000.
That's insane.
That's a lot.
Hey,
it's a lot.
If that's the market.
The market is whatever, but the market is what people will pay. And speaking of that, the market being what people will pay, you, like an idiot, traded Drake Baldwin for a person I probably owe an apology to. I probably owe an apology. In fact, I know I do. I owe 2 players apologies in this moment. One is Adley Rushman. I owe him an apology. I owe you an apology. I thought you were the worst fantasy catcher that there ever was. I've been proven wrong. The second one is Pete Crow Armstrong, who I thought was cooked, and who I thought was cooked and had turned into Neil Armstrong instead of Pete Crow Armstrong. And all of a sudden, he's on a complete and absolute rip tear, capped off with a cycle last night. He's on absolute fire right now.
Yes.
And just by chance, the Cubs are winning again.
Who knew? All right. So here's the Baldwin trade. And I'll tell you,
It's a stupid
This
trade.
this
You're not
hurt
going to
me.
win anyway. I don't know why you made that trade.
This coming from the guy sinking like a stone. We'll see.
I
This hurt me.
I had other things on my mind.
This hurt me for
Did
this
we
reason.
mention the Knicks won a 26 NBA championship? Did we mention that yet?
Drake Baldwin very quickly became one of my favorite players when the first 5-6 weeks of the year.
Yeah, when you stole him from me in the draft.
When I stole him one pick ahead of you.
Yes.
I love the guy. I didn't think I'd save him. I don't believe in keeping catchers in a 5-keeper dynasty league. I just don't believe in it, but I would have in this case. But I had to take a look at it in the midst of a week where my pitching staff, who I like my starting pitching, name-wise, when they compiled a 7.68 ERA last week, it was just absolutely killing my buzz that I was getting off my offense, 9 guys getting 20 home runs during the week. I'm like, how do I
got 2.
how do I improve my pitching staff without hurting my offense? And that's hard to do. So I took a look at it. When Drake Baldwin hurt his oblique, 12 teams, 10 categories, 120 points, 60 offense, 60 pitching. 60 available offensive points. When Baldwin got hurt, May 18th, I had 48.5 hitting points. The day I made the trade, I had 53.5 hitting points, and mostly because I picked up Yordan Alvarez and Byron Buxton, and those two guys are just going bananas since I got them. My offense improved by 5 points.
What idiot traded you Byron Buxton?
Maybe he'll comment again.
Maybe he's tuned in right now.
He's this guy, the guy that commented. So I said to myself, I love Drake Baldwin. I'm winning batting average by a ton. I got a decent lead in RBIs, decent lead in runs. My home run category should take care of itself with this ascension. He's not going to help me in steals, and I got about 8 or 9 points of steals. So I said, all right, what is Drake Baldwin going to do for my team when he comes back? He will help fortify some of the categories for sure because he's the best catcher out there. But I said, Jesus, what if I can go get myself a starter to help? Because Chris Sale hasn't been very good in the last month. Nate Eovaldi is just too inconsistent. Parker Messick's kind of come back to earth a little bit. I mean, JT Ginn was great for me last night. Who knew that? I threw him in there.
Well, you did because you had him as one of your two starters for this week.
I did, and I didn't want to pitch Parker Messick. And it looks like Baldwin homered tonight. Very good. There you go. So I saw an opportunity to get Chase Burns, who I love. And I said, Chase Burns is going to help this staff. I got Kyle Harrison from you last Tuesday. I need strikeouts badly. Go get Chase Burns. Give up Baldwin again. I'm now to answer my question I asked myself, how do I improve my pitching staff a lot by not touching my offense? Trade the guy that's on the injured list. Now he's back now, but my offense has flourished since I traded him. I actually was hoping the big man in Massachusetts would turn me down because I didn't want to trade Drake Baldwin, but I thought it was the best interest of my team. He posted the offer, and he'll tell you, I waited like 4 hours. Usually if I don't make a trade in the first 5 seconds, I'm not going to. I had to really think about it because trading Baldwin was painful, but Chase Burns looked pretty good last night. And again, I thought it was in the best interest of my team. You gotta play, as your coach famously once said, you play to win the game.
Well, first of all, I mean, Chase Burns is really good, but he pitched against the fucking Mets last night. So don't get all excited. Don't get all excited about that. Though he is really good. The problem I have with Chase Burns is going to be on an innings limit.
Yeah,
you did give up Brian Wu, who was great for 4 innings the other night, and then all of a sudden 2 innings, and then decided that he was Brian Wu, this year's version of Brian Wu.
Holy shit! I 2 innings. I'm like, this guy. I got to watch this game. He might throw a no-hitter. He looks so good out there. I left the room for 15 minutes. I come back and I'm like, what's that score? I get him. They're up 2-0. I had to grab my glasses. It was 6-2 Baltimore. I couldn't tell if it was a 6 or a 0. I'm getting older. I need the bifocals. I was like, what the hell just happened? I traded on it, but the other part about that is I got Adley Rutschman back, who's having a decent year. His role on my team is now just don't kill me. Don't get hurt and don't kill me. Just keep doing what you're doing. Hit 274. You hit 20 home runs. He's on pace for 95 RBIs. I'll take that all day.
Yeah, you can't. So, like, there's two parts of this equation from an emotional standpoint. For one is you like injuries you can't, they happen. Like O'Neal Cruz was rolling and now he's not in my lineup, and that's not good.
Yep.
Right. That's just not good. Like 4 category guy, his batting average is but like power, runs scored, RBI, stolen bases, that's not good. So that hurts. But if you can allow yourself to remove any emotion at all about players when you have a chance to win in a dynasty league specifically, and it's not the easiest thing to do. Like, it's not the easiest thing to do. And to that point, like my pitching staff, I have no worries in my pitching staff at all. And in fact, my pitching staff is so strong that last night I was like, I need a bat in the worst way. And is it time to move? And this was a question I said no to, big man, before you start flooding me with offers. Is it time to move Paul Skeens to win this year?
Really?
And I literally had to ask myself that question, because in the back of my head, the easier player for me to trade is Blake Wheeler. And I already know.
You're trading the right winger from Winnipeg?
Zach Wheeler. Blake Wheeler. Yeah, he'd be very easy to trade. The guy that forgot how to score goals. Yeah, so Zach Wheeler would be the easy guy for me to trade, because I think I would get a pretty good return for him. And I know I'm probably not going to save him, because I'm under the assumption they're not playing next year. So this may be his last season. Ben Rice just homered, by the way. And but Skeens would get me whatever I want. Skeens would get me everybody but Ohtani, frankly. If I knew Judge was coming back next week, I'd get Judge for Skeens. You'd have to be an idiot not to make that trade. You're going to get a 10-year keeper pitcher who's going to be in Cy Young contention for 10 years for a 33-year-old outfielder. You'd have to make that trade. But then I was like, you know what? No. I'm not emotionally attached to him, and I'm not saying I won't trade him, but the fact that I actually thought about him, and I said going into the year, I'm not going to get emotionally attached to any players. I'll trade whatever I got to trade to win.
Yep.
And not yet. Not yet for me. I had one bad week. I'm still not that concerned. I'm really not. I mean, I'm not. Like, I have a team that can win this league if I don't get any more fucking injuries, which is just like insane. You're in an injury drought when the guy you pick up to replace the guy that went on the injured list never got a chance to get in your roster because he got hurt before he got a chance before the weekend. Like, Adolis Garcia has been on a little bit of a tear for the Phillies. I'm like, I'm going to pick him up and get some power and some RBIs out of Adolis Garcia. And I plugged him into my lineup on Thursday for this week, and he got hurt on Thursday, and he went on the IL. And I'm like, good God, you got to be kidding me.
He's going to be out a while, too.
Look, you've got to be kidding. He's going to be out for a while. So, yeah, I didn't think it was a good trade. And when I just looked at it again, I'm like, it's actually it's not a bad trade at all. I mean, you did trade, in effect, you traded Burns for Baldwin from a dynasty standpoint. You traded Burns for Baldwin, and then you traded Wu and Marino for Rutschman, which is fair. And then I will also share in my frustration and my canned response on the application formerly known as Twitter. To the people in our world that are in our space, if you're going to put proposed trades up, would you like? I've been offered this for this. Put your league format up. Put whether you're a dynasty league and put what place you're in, and then all the rest of us can actually give you input into that trade as to whether we would make that trade or not. Some of them are pretty easy. Would you trade A for B? Like, yeah, of course I would, because yes, I would trade Shohei Ohtani for Steven Matt, or I'd trade Steven Matz for Shohei Ohtani, but there's got to be two teams involved. But there's some pretty, like, people post some really, really interesting trades, but without context, we can't share any advice on those trades.
True.
I'm in second place. I'm in a head-to-head league. It's non-dynasty. I've been offered, X and X for Y and Y. But that kind of shit we can actually look at and go, you know what? Yes, you should make that trade right now. Or it's a dynasty league and I'm in 8th place in a 10-team league and somebody just made me an offer for Skeens and I'm like, don't do it. Like, why would you, like, I'm in at 8th place in a 10-team rotisserie league and somebody made me an offer for Skeens. Like, you're not going to win, dude. It's fucking June. It's not happening.
I saw an offer today. I'll ask you what you think. The team is in 3rd place in a 12-team 5x5 league. Cal Raleigh, Pete Alonso, and Jose Ramirez for Nick Kurtz.
It's a dynasty league and it's Rota.
Yep.
Ramirez will be back in 6 weeks if he's back like he was the last time this happened to him. Alonso's having a really good year. Alonso's having a really good year, and I was high on him coming in. Despite the fact that Baltimore sucks, he's having a pretty good year. And who was the third player?
Cal Raleigh, who's back tonight.
I would probably do it.
Really? My response to Unstoppable Baseball was, I'm not trading Nick Kurtz.
Well, you are in 3rd place, but you're not in 3rd place by 3 points. You're in 3rd place by 12 points. So it'd be different if I was 9. In 3rd place by 2 points. You know what? Nick Kurtz is going to be great for a long time. But you can't say I play to win. You play to win the games on one trade, and then get offered a trade like that, and then just say I'm not.
Well, okay. Well,
that's where you got to remove the emotion.
Devil's advocate. Max Muncy's having a good year as my third baseman, and Jose Ramirez is not back for 6 weeks. So there's no value, right? For now.
So a first ballot Hall of Famer with a track record like he has, forget 6 weeks. When he comes back August 1st to the end of the season, I will guarantee his stats will be double in productivity to anything Max Muncy does. Because Max Muncy is what Max Muncy is. And I am very down on him because he screwed me many, many times. Many. And I know he got LASIK surgery, and I know he went to glasses, and I know he's having a blah, 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 blah. He's going to get hurt sometime in the next month because he always does. And then he's going to do a 1 for 30, and you're going to kick yourself in the ass and go. And then he's going to do 1 for 30 when there's an injury report that Ramirez is coming back today. And you're going to offer that to Unstoppable, and he's going to be like, fuck no. No.
Very possible.
No.
Very possible. All right. You ready to move on to who's not or who's hot?
I am ready to move on to who's hot and who's not.
Sweetness. I can't make it.
I was a little surprised until I looked at Noah Cameron's numbers, and you probably have to unmute your mic.
Yeah.
That Noah Cameron's pretty hot right now, dude.
Noah Cameron's hot because I picked him up for last week and then decided I didn't trust him yet, so I cut him. And he's continued to play great, hence the Baldwin for Chase Burns trade. owned in 84% of leagues, started in 56, which you would think would be a little higher. But last year, here's what you got to remember with Cameron: 9-7 last year, 2.99 ERA, 1.1 WHIP. That's fantastic in today's game. His last 21, his last 4 starts in those 21 days: 22 and a third, 20 strikeouts, 2.82 ERA, 0.72 WHIP. But he got off to a really shit start to the year. But it seems like he's gotten it together. The team is still garbage, but he's seen it's not his fault.
No. And Pascantino going on same injury as Ramirez. That's not going to help.
It's the year of the hamate bone.
And the theme with both of these guys, because Bibby's in the same vein. So if I told you that to somebody's hot that's 2-7 with 71 Ks and 84 innings and almost 4 WHIP and a 1.18 ERA is hot right now. His last 2 starts, he's 15 innings, 11 Ks, a 1.2 ERA and a 0.6 WHIP. He's 2-7 on the year, and those 2 wins came in the last 2 starts. Just like Cameron, 80% owned because people still trust that they should roster him. And only
can you hold for 1 second?
I can always hold for 1 second.
Hold on a minute. Oh, okay.
We interrupt tonight's episode
because I thought my family was locked out after the walk they just took.
For some subliminal advertising from Sean.
Sure.
He said, I thought, but what he meant was I was hoping. So
well, I got up the stairs and they opened the door. So
but both of these guys, like shaky starts, still pretty heavily owned, but not started. And we're at the point in time in the season where you got to pay attention to this stuff. And guys on a roll, you got to roll the dice on them as your fourth, fifth starter. If you need them, you got to roll the dice head to head, daily head to head. You got to pitch them. And if something bad happens, and it does.
Unless you have a staff like yourself. And I want the viewers to hear this starting staff. Detmers, who has been great. McClanahan's great. Schlittler's great. Skeens is great. And Zach Wheeler's great. So, yeah. Good. But for the rest of us, with 7.68 ERAs, you got to find those diamonds in the rough for your 4th and 5th starters. You have to, if you want to hang in there.
And if you can get these guys for 2, when they're hot, if you can get them in a head-to-head for 2 starts, you need to play them.
Sure.
They can't be 45 and 50% rostered. They are started. They got to be started.
I've said it before. I have a rule that unless I have just too many guys, if a guy's a 2-start pitcher on my roster and I'm not playing him, then I should cut him.
I agree with that.
Because I didn't trust Cameron 2 weeks ago and I cut him and he's been great.
I agree with that.
I had Grant Holmes. He was going to be in my lineup this week for the guy that's coming in the next slide. I sat down. I decided I couldn't trust Grant Holmes, so I got rid of him last night, didn't play him. And JT Ginn, who you mentioned before, is in my lineup. He's a 2-star guy, and he was fantastic last night.
Yeah, he was great. He's been really good.
Yeah, he has. All right. Speaking of the who's cold person, who's part of the reason I traded – I still love Parker Messick. I still believe in Parker Messick. But Parker Messick took a seat this week with his 1 start at Milwaukee, last 21 days, which is 3 starts, 16 and a third, 0-2, 4.41 ERA, 1.29 WHIP. Just kind of coming back to the median a little bit from his early season start. I think he'll be fine. But like I said, I played JT Ginn over him just because, and I actually played Nate Eovaldi over him. It really came down to Eovaldi or Messick for that start. And I played Eovaldi at San Diego at home, Messick at Milwaukee. I'd sit him down for the week.
Yeah, Messick might have hit a little bit of a bump. I still trust him. I wouldn't cut him.
No, you don't cut him.
certainly like this next guy who needs a standing ovation in the worst way. I mean, Trey Turner does a lot of really good things. He just hasn't done them a lot this year. He's not having a great year, number one, but the last 2 weeks, he's 189, 2 RBI, 7 runs. You and I'd score 7 runs the way the Phillies are hitting. He does have 3 steals.
How old is he?
Oh, that's a good question. Is he 32?
He's 32. He'll be 33 in 2 weeks from today.
Probably needs to move to second base at some point. I mean, he doesn't have the range. He never really has. He's always been a better second baseman than, he started out as a center fielder. He's always been a better second baseman than a shortstop anyway. But I mean, he's 99% owned. He's 85% started, and all of a sudden, shortstop's fairly deep.
Yeah.
Shortstop's fairly deep. So take out middle infielder as a roster category. Just take that out for the sake of this conversation. That's a lot of leagues where he started that he doesn't need to be for right now until he figures it out. I mean, you could the challenge with him is that when he figures it out, he goes on a tear that's just out of this world.
Oh yeah,
like where he's literally carrying the Phillies lineup.
He's a top 20 player.
Yeah, I mean he's still ranked he's still the 5th ranked shortstop on CBS, which blows my mind. But he's not having a good run. And because this is such a positive city that I live in where they really prop people up at all times and try to make them feel better about themselves, especially Phillies fans, they are not that happy with him right now.
No.
Little grumbling, a little, maybe we should trade Trey Turner at the deadline. Maybe fuck Trey Turner. Maybe we're just Trey Turner live. I just bought some eggs. I mean, like that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's going on here for
sure. Yeah, start treating him like Wembanyama.
Good God.
No.
They need to give him another. Last time they gave him a standing ovation when he struggled after he signed, he went on an epic run and he was great. Yeah.
Maybe they'll do that. All right.
They won't.
Who should you go get? Glad you asked. Hell, it's frozen over for me, but I'll let you start with Spencer Horwitz.
You shocked me with that one. So on a year, Spencer Horwitz is 281, 9 homers, 31 RBIs, 29 runs. He's only 59% owned. He's 49% started, but when you dig into first base and corner infield, how he's not more highly rostered, and since he came back from injury, which he started the season hurt, when Ryan O'Hearn was out for the Pirates, Spencer Horwitz was their offense. Spencer Horwitz has. I say you got to go get him, especially if you need you have Vinny Pasquantino, and you need to go pick up a first baseman. Vladdy's hurt now, and he's obviously his paycheck's weighing him down because he's hitting with no power. He's still having a decent year. Devers is a disaster, they're going to trade him, or they want to.
I'm not sure it would take Mr. Personality, but
he can't be worse than some of the guys you're rostering, especially when you look at what he's done over the last 30 days. Like most of his stats have been in the last 30 days. And then the first ballot, and then you got the first ballot Hall of Famer.
Look, his last 21 days, he's ranked 28th in CBS, hitting 347, 9 runs, 4 homers, 17 RBIs, even stole a base. You said it before. When guys get hot, you got to get them, and you get them in your lineup. You know it's not going to last forever. He's getting a little older. He's almost old enough with the hairline to be a co-host of the show.
Yeah, so, he's pretty close. I think he's coloring his beard, if I'm being honest, because he's He's a pretty gray man for sure. He's a pretty gray man for sure. There's no doubt about it. So I'm going to look real quick at first base rankings on CBS.
Well, while you look that up, a guy like Goldschmidt is a professional hitter, and if he's raking, you get him and you play him.
Kurtz, we're not questioning that. Matt Olson, we're not questioning that. Ben Rice, to homer tonight, but without judging the lineup's a different player. Harper's having a really good year. Vladdy, like, you want to roll the dice with a hot player instead of now an injured Vladdy? Why not? Alonso having a good year. Sal Stewart, until tonight's been in a major, major funk.
Yeah.
Major. Freddie Freeman's Freddie Freeman. I know you love him. Miguel Vargas, who in our league, I'm not sure qualifies for first base, but if he does, he's having a tremendous year. Josh Naylor, like, what's Josh Naylor going to give you in a week that these two guys aren't going to give you, besides maybe steal a couple bases? That's assuming he gets on base. Devers is a disaster. Yandy Diaz doesn't qualify for first base in about 90% of the leagues because I don't think he's played an inning there this year.
Yeah.
Christian Walker having a tremendous year. Tremendous year. I was wrong about him. He's having a really good year. He's having a Christian Walker year. Jonathan Aranda. I mean, Jonathan Aranda is a really good player and a good contact hitter, but he's no different than either of these two guys for what they give you. Wilson Contreras is the Red Sox offense, sadly. Tyler Soderstrom hasn't played any first base this year, so he no longer qualifies in our league. Alec Burleson hasn't played any first base this year, though he's having a really good year.
No, he's all first base.
He's all first base. He's really good. He's hurt.
He hadn't played any outfield.
Michael Busch didn't hit until 2 weeks ago. I mean, Pascantino's hurt. I mean, you got like these two guys, Jake Bowers, maybe even Andrew Vaughn to some extent. I mean, you got a choice between, like, in this grouping, you got to pick up Goldschmidt, Horowitz, Spencer Torkelson.
Yeah.
You know the Yankees are going to score a shitload of runs.
As long as he's in the lineup, he's going to help you, right? It's not forever. We say that whenever we talk about some of these guys. They're not going to be great forever. He's old. Okay, he'll slow down a little bit, but you get it while you can. You know, if you have the roster spot open.
He's the 33rd ranked first baseman, and Horowitz is 39. And there's probably 8 or 10 guys in front of each of these guys that I would take either of them over.
Yeah.
The way they're going right now.
All right.
Who we dumping?
Who to remove from your team? Here we go. Yeah, why don't you start while the big man might still be awake?
Yeah, so here's in his last 3 starts, Connolly early, 7.36 ERA, 1.98 WHIP, 0-3. I know he's 89% owned, and he's only 48% started. But go find somebody that's going to help you right now. If he's on your roster and you're not going to start him, go look for somebody that will. Just go he's looking at the ball in this picture, begging it to miss a bat. Like, can you please miss a bat one time?
He's probably wishing it a safe trip because it's about to get hammered.
Yeah. Should I sign this now so the fan has an autographed baseball?
The guy sitting up on top of left field. That's what it's been.
Unfortunately, I'm still awake, says the big man. I look at all these guys. Will Warren, I'll give you 4 names right now. Peyton Toll's pitching pretty well tonight. Will Warren, Ryan Weathers, Connolly early, and to a little bit of an extent, Peyton told, because I don't want to just pick on the Red Sox. If they're young and they're struggling and they might have lost a little bit of an edge, and if you're going to bury them on your bench, and then you look at your pitching staff and say, fuck, like, now who do I pitch? Go find somebody that you can put in your lineup. Don't make yourself wish that somebody's going to help you for a week. Go find somebody that could really help you for a week. Even if you're in a league with holds, go get a friggin' setup guy.
Yeah.
Like, just don't paint yourself into corners with your roster where you're praying that they're going to be great, because this is what's going to happen. So now he's 48% active. And let's just say he has a good start this week, which could happen. He's going to be a good pitcher. He's just not right now. Then you put him in, and then he goes another next 3 starts where he just does the stats I just shared. Like, why do that to yourself? Like, why bother? Says the man that had Amaya on his roster like an idiot. On multiple rosters, like a complete idiot.
So here's the thing with Stephen Kwan. He is owned by 69% of the league, started by 37. Here's the stat. Forget the 215 batting average, which is terrible. The 1 home run, the 13 RBIs, all 3 of those are awful. Typically, his home runs are 12, 13 RBIs, mid-50s. That really sucks when it comes to fantasy baseball. You'll take his runs scored, which is always high because it's at the top of the order. 21 steals in the 2 of the last 3 years. This year, 3. If Stephen Kwan ain't running, Stephen Kwan isn't rosterable.
Yeah, he was running and he was batting average and steals. That was him.
Yep. The batting average 215. Again, 1 home run, which is a lot less than, he's not even close to what is usual low pace. And same with the RBIs. But if he's not running, he's not worth your time.
No. Like, who deserves more of a roster spot on your roster? Young-Hoo Lee, who's still hitting, or Cole Carrig, who's not finally up to 49% rostered, off to a great start after he got called up in Colorado. You'll play both of those guys. You're not going to play them.
No.
You're not even going to play him. Lars Nootbaar, you're going to play him. Like, why? Yeah, when the value of the player is gone, it's Simpson. He's got, like, steals is his thing.
Yeah.
He's been caught almost as much as he's stolen this year. So if you're in a net steals league, he has 0 value because he does nothing else. At least Kwan used to be 2 categories.
Yes.
And then now, without Ramirez in the lineup, he got no value at all.
No, 0. So move on.
Probably a nice guy.
I'm sure he is. No offense to Mr. Kwan nor his family. Good provider, maybe. All right, next week. Week 14. Why don't you lead off? We'll let the Nick fan take the lead.
Let the Nick fan go. So I was a little bit surprised, despite the fact that McClanahan, like, both of our pitchers are owned, over 75%. But, like, 1 start makes McClanahan a 49% active pitcher. And he's got Kansas City and Arizona next week at home.
That's odd.
I don't know. Like, you got to be kidding me, man. Like, he is in the lineup for 2 starts, no matter what. He's been really good. Like, back to before being injured McClanahan, except for 1 start this year. 1. Like, you can't throw a guy away to 49, but he had 1 bad start. So did Skeens, so did Wheeler, so did a lot of guys. Now, your guy, I am not a big fan of his.
I love him. I know his last couple starts have been terrible.
He's a 5-inning guy. That's what I don't like about him.
I think he'll get there. Remember, he missed a lot of the early part of the year. He's still young. He's He started in 57% of leagues. This week is a good week for him to get healthy. It's the Red Sox, who are the Red Sox. But he's at home to Houston and Texas next week, two very winnable games for them if wins are a category. I still think he's a gamer. I know he's not been what we saw last October yet, but I think he's capable of it. And maybe that rebound starts this week, like I said, against the Red Sox, and then keep it going next week for two.
And then from a hitter standpoint, maybe. I mean, what scares me about this also is that Texas is starting to hit. Texas has started to hit a little bit, which it's about damn time, but they are starting to hit.
It's only been a year and a half.
It's only been a year and a half. It's only been since they went to the World Series. I mean, Corey Seager's back. They hit. He might. I mean, you may catch a break, and he might be hurt next week because that's usually what happens. And then, speaking of teams that are starting to hit, the Tigers are hitting, and they got a terrible. They're in against a terrible pitching staff in Houston, and then the Yankees. It was 9-1 the last time I checked, and they're showing Miguel Vargas whiff on a ball that he should have caught down the third baseline. Clearly whiffed on it, missed it by about a foot when he should have caught it. And he sits on the tarp wondering. It's 11-1 Yankees, and that's the Chicago White Sox pitching staff.
Okay.
So, I mean, the White Sox are having a really good year. They're a great story. They're a lot of fun. It's awesome. What a great turnaround. Blah, 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 blah. They can't pitch.
Yeah. Now the A's have 3 in San Francisco. They return to the Bay, and then 3 at the Angels. I'll take those. I'll take my chances with the kids who are all seem to be hitting. At least Kurt Soderstrom, Jacob Wilson's back. Good week to have some of the A's. Don't pick up Lawrence Butler.
Or any of their pitchers. Except for JT Ginn.
And watch out for Gage Jump. He acquitted himself fairly well in that Little League park that they had to play in last week. He wasn't bad. Jeff Springs was the author of that 23-run game on Sunday.
Wait a minute.
That was an embarrassment to baseball. But
wait a minute. That's the guy that I'm trying to remember. April 15th was your ad guy.
That was 2 months and 1 day ago. Gotta live in the moment.
Boy, what a I wish I didn't look at that. Here's where we've been right. We weren't right the first episode. April 7th, you had Jordan Walker, I had Otto Lopez. We were right. April 15th, Angel Martinez. Yeah. April 22nd, Landon Roop, Josh Young. Yeah. Yep. Probably right, even though Roop's hit a little bit of a wall. Then we got to go all the way to, I'll give you Zach Geloff, May 13th. That's a good one. May 27th, I had Jack Powers. June 3rd, you had Curtis Mead, who hasn't slowed down even a little bit. I had Sean Burke that week. What an idiot I am. June 9th, we had Gage Jump and Bryce Eldridge. Bryce Eldridge is on a tear.
Yeah.
On an absolute tear. I should have friggin' picked them up a month ago when I had a roster spot to do it, and I didn't. Yeah. But on the flip side, to make ourselves feel a little bit better, on the cut 'em, we've been right every single week.
That's good.
We've been right every week. Though Griffin Jacks, who was my week 1, who got obliterated as a reliever in Tampa, might be making this get him list sooner than we think, because they moved him to the rotation and he's been pretty good. Now he gives you no length, but he's been pretty good as a starter.
BU02215 finally got his buttons pushed with me extolling the virtues of Trey Savage.
Yeah. I agree with him.
He's apparently not a fan.
I agree with him. He had a great postseason. He had a really good postseason. He was tremendous in the postseason. But he's underwhelming. He's underwhelming for where he was ranked, especially for where he was ranked. And I mean, he's a 2-start pitcher. It's kind of hard not to start him.
Yeah.
Especially given alternatives that you might have in your lineup. But head to head, he could be -10 as easily. He could be +30. I mean, Dustin May was 40 points last night on ESPN. 40. Yeah, Dustin fucking May. Are you kidding me?
I was bent because I just picked up Riley O'Brien.
He cut his hair, and now the dude's a walking no-hit alert every time he pitches. What the hell?
I was pissed because I just picked up Riley O'Brien. I saw 3-0. I'm like, oh, I just got a layup of a save. I'm like, Dustin May had a complete game. Are you serious?
One hitter with 1 walk and 9 strikeouts last night.
A complete game for Dustin May used to be 5 innings.
Like, first of all, a complete game in Major League Baseball is like seeing a unicorn out your front window.
Yeah, it doesn't happen.
Doesn't happen very much.
Oh, wow. Oh, well.
So I don't know what we're going to talk about next week, but I guarantee you at some point in time in next week's show, I am going to mention that the Knicks won a world championship.
Yeah, go for it, man. You got to bask in the moment.
I'll be basking in that for a long, long time.
Yeah.
A long, long time. I was going through pictures of 10-year-old me trying to find me and my Walt Frazier t-shirt from when I was 10. And then I got interrupted by one of the bourbon manufacturers, and I lost track.
And you go order your New York Jets Brandon Sorsby jersey in a few days too. You'll blow one of your first round picks next year on that.
So I'm glad you brought that up as we digress away from fantasy baseball.
As a follow-up to last week's tangent.
Yeah, here's another tangent. If you're an NFL team and you spend above a 5th round pick in a supplemental draft on a guy that may never be allowed to play in the NFL, you're just not fucking serious about football. You're just not serious about winning.
I think the league is going to allow him. They let Keon Booty come in from LSU, and he was doing it. I think the league's going to allow him. If you're a team that you want to hire this guy, if you want to, and I don't want to hear that, well, you know what, give the kid a break. He has, okay, I feel bad he has a problem. We said that last week. Yeah, give him a break. Yeah, but you know what? When a lawyer gets disbarred, they can no longer practice law.
No, not legally.
Not legally. But when you gamble on sport, I mean, that's the death penalty. Sorry.
It's one thing to gamble on sports.
On your team.
It's another thing to gamble on your team, even if you bet on your team. I mean, the worst is you're gambling on outcomes that you have control over. That's this college basketball thing that's blowing up every day. It seems like they're finding kids that were affecting outcomes of games with their performance. And I mean, it's just, but look, you know what would be fitting right now? It would be like if in this rant about gambling, like every major sport in the United States, we had this rant about gambling, and the commercial that followed was DraftKings or FanDuel.
Yeah, there's a bit of hypocrisy there.
Or Polymarket or Kalshi. I mean, it's like fucking, you can't, like, it's a pandemic for young males from 18 to 24 years old.
Yeah.
It's a huge problem. So he is one kid in the issue at hand. He just happens to be the profile kid that's going to bring this to light. The Rosarena to the IL. There we go.
Damn it. Oh, wait a minute.
God. Trashy is Savage and a Rosarena to the IL. The last 2 comments. Maybe next week we'll have a guest. And he can do them live.
Todd, you just did me a solid, man. I had intentionally, I had Colton Cowser on reserve, and that game
Jesus
doesn't start for 10
Christ.
minutes. I was able to get Cowser in my lineup, Todd. Thank you.
So the fact that you have Colton Cowser on reserve tells me you can make 800 trades for the rest of the season. You're not winning this league.
Who else am I going to have? Stephen Kwan?
Well, maybe,
Right?
maybe.
Shit.
You could have Cole Carrick. No, I got him.
Right up on a road arena, not 2 hours ago, was he was going to sit him tonight, though he could pinch hit when he'd be in the lineup tomorrow.
Well, apparently not. That sounds like maybe the Yankee medical staff has infiltrated the Mariners.
Wow.
At least he's not out. At least he's not out tonight for dental work like Jason Dominguez.
Well, at least I don't get all zeros this week on my team. So, unless Colton Cowser sucks. But anyway, so next,
Jake McCarthy had an illness. He didn't play from Thursday to Monday.
That's why I cut him. All right.
Jeez.
Next Tuesday. I'm sure we'll come up with something creative, something fun.
Happy Father's Day.
Yeah, happy Father's Day. No, it's happy birthday to all you fathers out there, per Ralph Kiner.
And if you're not a father and you happen to get a Father's Day card, well, you should have been. Maybe you better start doing some backtracking on what actually happened.
Don't rule anything out.
Exactly. Don't rule.
All right. We are out.
Peace.